right, what's good? What's good, everyone? I am back officially, man. I was a little under the weather last week. As you can already tell, my voice is still in and out. But I had to go ahead and get into this thing before my ass got too far behind. So what's good? What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the show recap with Mo. Well, we about to get into Tyler Perry's Zatima, all right? So I watched it, but I didn't, like I said, I couldn't do nothing. But I am here, and we're going to go ahead and get into this thing, all right? So the episode we're getting ready to get into is Season 2, Episode number 11, titled Out of Love, all right? So the synopsis for this episode states that Zac and Fatima deal with the fallout of their intense argument. Bryce tries to get back to business with Zac, and Zac gets encouragement from the last person he'd expect. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this thing. Alright, so I don't even know where the hell to start with this one because it starts off with the bang. And I mean, literally, it was crazy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. This is probably some of the best acting I've seen from these two, hands down. Like, I'm going to go ahead and clap my hands up. I'm going to go ahead and throw these claps in the background for both Fatima and Zac. Now, it started off a little crazy, man. I'm not going to lie. The drama was silly. Like, it was just all over the place, man. But let's go ahead and get into it. So my thing in this, my take from this opening scene is that, first and foremost, Zac is waiting on, well, I don't think he's honestly waiting on Fatima to show back up, but when she shows up, he's like, you lied to me. First and foremost, bro, you are not the one to say, you are not the one to sit up here and say you lied to me. First and foremost, like I said, I'm going to take a little bit of it back from Zac, a little bit, because I just gave him some credit. But at the same time, I'm like, bro, we are literally going through this BS right now because you cannot be straightforward. You cannot communicate with your woman. Like, all you had to do was say, no, I did not do anything with Connie. But of course, you had to sabotage this relationship. And all of these are bad choices by Zac. I'm just going to be real. And on the flip side of it, I'm looking at Fatima like, you should know your man up to this point. Yes, he's messed up, but you need to try to seek understanding at the same time, or you really want this thing to be over. Like, either it's one or the other, because you say, I'm done with you, you walk out. Then you come back with Angela for reinforcements to get your stuff. Now, either you want to go ahead and get your stuff, or you could have called Zac, hey Zac, go ahead and get my stuff together so we don't have any confrontation. But anyhow, when she gets into the house, Zac is like, okay, you lied to me. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. So then he goes on to say, Fatima, what are your deal breakers? So she's like, look, I ain't got time for this. He was like, okay, you ain't got nothing to say. He was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what they are. He says, don't cheat, what you doing, and don't. I'm like, what the hell, Zac? You're not helping your case at this point. But also, man, if you're not cheating, tell the truth. But anyhow, we'll get into that a little bit later. Anyhow, I just feel bad for Angela. I'm going to be on Angela's side real quick because she didn't have to be a little bystander in this situation. So a lot of heat was coming her way as well. So, it is what it is at this point. But, it got a little heated. People were throwing shit all over the place. All types of things were going on. And I just feel like Zac honestly needs to sit down with someone like a professional, not nobody that he's been cool with all his life and stuff like that. But he needs to honestly get some professional help because his mom has done a number on him. Like, and I'm not trying to throw all the blame on his mom because a lot of this is still Zac. But getting rid of that trauma, whatever he went through as a child, where he's constantly trying to avoid drama with specifically women, except for Connie. I find that ironic. Also, with the relationship that he's built with both Nate and Tony, who we know who are childhood friends with him as well. So he's able to hold relationships. It's just with people that he has a love life with, obviously, that he has problems with. And not only that, is with work and anything else. I mean, we'll go ahead and get off of that. But like I said, this opening scene was everything, man. It was off the charts. Like I said, I'm gonna give them their credit where credit is due. Anyhow, so we head over to Fatima's parents' house. Now, when they get over to the crib, well, not they, but Fatima is eventually going to come over. But anyhow, before Fatima actually comes in, Fatima's mom wants to go and talk to Fatima. Fatima's stepdad is sitting down on the couch. And he was like, "Are you sure that's a good thing?" She was like, "Yeah, I definitely need to talk to her, definitely after last night, because of everything that went down, where Zac was pretty much, throwing a pity party for himself. Like, I might as well do what you guys think I'm going to do." So anyhow, going on from there, Fatima walks in. And Fatima's mom is like, "Oh, I was just getting ready to come and see, sit down with you or whatnot." So anyhow, Fatima conveys to her parents that she and Zac are no longer together. Her mom is like, "Oh, really? Like, you didn't care. Like, let's not act like you all torn up about Zac and Fatima not being together, because you were actually going to her to tell her that Zac is no good. Honestly, that's what you feel. But Fatima's stepfather and all of this, he's a real, I feel him. And we'll talk about him in a minute, but I'm just saying, he's more concerned about Fatima's well-being, more so than what her mama is talking about. Because he's like, "You love him?" She was like, "Yeah, I do." And you could tell by his whole disposition that he's more concerned about his stepdaughter than the mother is. See, that's funny to me. But anyhow, going on from there, Fatima's mom is like, "Well, what went down? Did he hit you? Did he put his hands on you?" And listen to how she's talking to Fatima, and listen how her stepfather is talking. He was like, "Look, no, baby girl wouldn't be going with nobody that would treat her like that." Like, what in the hell is her mom going through? I'm going to have to go ahead and tip my hat off to Tyler. I enjoyed this breakdown of the relationships between Fatima, her mom, and her stepfather. Like, I enjoyed trying to figure out who was who, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I honestly see, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I honestly believe that Fatima has a better relationship with her stepfather than she does with her mom. And I believe that that's going to come out eventually. But I'm just throwing that out there. But anyhow, we head over to Zac's office, where we know he ain't doing shit but sitting down there playing. But today he's stressed out. He ain't thinking about nothing. He's thinking about Fatima. All right. And Bryce comes in and he wants to talk to him about the deal with, what's her name? Valerie. So he was like, "Did you get the opportunity? It's a great deal." Zac is like, "Look, I don't want to do it." But Bryce is like, "Look, man, we shouldn't allow this deal to pass." So I'm with Bryce. Like, the best way to get over this relationship is to go ahead and move about your business. And since we're talking about business, Zac, and you want to get some more money because you got all these baby mothers everywhere, let's go ahead and get this money up, bro. Let's go ahead and do that. If Fatima doesn't want to be with you and y'all got all this drama going on, maybe y'all not suited for each other, let's go ahead and move forward with what we got in our pockets right now. And that's your business. So go ahead and do what you need to do. All right. So Bryce is like, "Come on, Zac. Are we not going to get past this?" Because Bryce is talking about, "Hey, I'm sorry what I did to you previously. Like, can we get past all of this?" He's talking about how he was trying to approach Zac. Zac had to clock him once and let him know, "No, I don't get down like that, all right?" So anyhow, Zac is like, "No, man, we good, man. We can go ahead and get past that." But then Zac turns around and he asks Bryce, like, "Do you think that I sabotage things?" And Bryce is like, "Huh?" He was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Do you think I sabotage things? Do you think I purposely mess up stuff?" All right. And Bryce is like, "I think you're scared of what you could be or what you could become." And I was like, "Damn, that's deep, bro." All right. And of course, while we're in a serious mode and we getting some type of understanding, you know what I'm saying? Here comes the fools, Nate and Tony. So right when we try to get into the discovery process, here comes the buffoonery coming in. And of course, Nate is going to take it to the next level. So anyhow, when they come in, they all hugged up on Bryce. Oh, I love this dude. Oh, man, you looking good and all this stuff. And Zac is just looking from afar. He was like, oh, y'all do not know what y'all getting. Y'all do not know what y'all getting into. So anyhow, long story short, Bryce is like, I'm about to get up out of here. And Nate and Tony, they sit down and have a talk with Zac. Now, Zac is like, y'all need to be careful. That's all I'm going to say to y'all. All right, y'all need to be careful. They was like, huh? Like, what you talking about? He was like, don't worry about it. So anyhow, they like, we heard about you and old girl. Like, who in the hell told y'all? Like, first and foremost, who in the hell told y'all? Because I didn't. So how did that word get about? All right. So anyhow, Nate is like, oh, she already changed. Was it Nate or Tony? I don't know. Either one. She changed her profile to single. And he was like, for real? Zac was like, okay. For real? And they was like, yeah. So obviously, okay, let me go back. I'm just thinking out loud, y'all. I'm sorry. So maybe that's how they found out. Okay. I'm thinking, good thinking. All right, going on from there. I'm sorry, y'all. So yeah, so that's how I'm assuming that's how they found out that she was single. But they said they heard about. I don't know how they heard. But anyhow, going on from there, they was like, okay, look, we are about to go out. Now, Tony is cool, but Nate is married. But he's talking about going out. He's talking about hooking up with this girl. Zac was like, hold on, wait a minute. You are married, bro. He was like, oh, okay. Like, I got this chick that I want y'all to meet. All right. So anyhow, they was like, okay, we just want to get the Zac attack back. So they had this whole connection where they in there singing and dancing, talking about the Zac attack is back or whatnot. So going on from there, Zac actually does tell them what went down with he and Fatima. Now, this is my problem. Zac, if you did not sleep with Connie, what in the hell are we going through this stuff for? Like, you had a good woman who was by your side, who was ride or die, who was willing to do anything for you to keep your ass up out of trouble, to keep you happy, but at the same damn time, you just couldn't be forthcoming and tell her the truth. No, I didn't. The issue is you honestly didn't believe that she would believe you. That's the only thing I can come up with in this situation. You honestly believe that she already thought that you had slept with Connie. And since she already believed that you had slept with Connie and she wouldn't believe anything that came up out of your mouth because of your past, then that's what you're assuming. And that's the only thing I can get from it, bro. Because you sit up here and tell your fellas that you didn't do it. And the craziest shit about this, they initially didn't believe. Well, one didn't for sure. The other one was like, hold on, wait a minute. No, he didn't. Now, Nate on the other end is like, yes, he did. Now, I got a problem with Nate already because, in the previous episode, at the end of that episode, Nate was talking about this whole situation with Connie and, he believed that she was on a substance. And I'm not going to say what type of substance, whatever it was, is what she was on. But at the same time, you're trying to hook this man up, your boy up with this woman who potentially got a problem. And I've said this before. What type of friend are you to do that to your boy? Like, you're not looking out for me. You're not looking out for my best interest. If you were looking out for my best interest, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. Because I would be at home with my woman, not going through this stress. But at the same time, I guess you can't blame Miss Boys on his response to Fatima. But anyhow, going on. I'm trying to help Zac, but I can't help Zac. Anyhow, we head over to Angela's crib. Now, when we head over to Angela's crib, we see Fatima coming in. Angela's already sitting down on the couch and drinking it up and whatnot. So Fatima goes ahead and grabs her a glass as well. So they get their drink on. Fatima tells Angela that they should go out, and Fatima calls Paul. Now, how in the hell did I know she was going to call Paul? You know what? Okay, ladies, this is probably like the worst thing to do in this situation. Because the main person that ends up getting hurt in this equation, it might feel good right now while you're in the present, but eventually you're going to be the one hurt because it's only a jump off. It's nothing beneficial about it. Yes, it feels good. It feels high. You're on the highest level possible. But at the end of the damn day, it's not a good feeling because after that dude has used you and gotten into your goods, he's done. You hear what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that's for all occasions, but for real, like most jump offs, when you get out of a quote unquote bad situation and you get down with another, female or whatnot trying to get your rebound on, it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? But anyhow, going on from there, she calls Paul and she says, hey, bring a friend for my friend. And he was like, yeah, I can definitely do that. So he goes ahead. Now, the thing about Paul, you know that she is engaged. He didn't ask that question at all. Like, are you going to bring Zac? Like, what's good with Zac? Are you still with Zac? And I'm looking at Paul some type of way because, see, I can't stand it's like this because you guys right here, like, yeah, she shouldn't be calling you, but at the same time, we need to check folks at the same time, like, okay, but is everything still cool with you and Zac? And I would have respected him more for that. And maybe I'm asking for too damn much. Maybe that would not bring the drama, I guess not. So I'm just saying, like, I can't respect it's like that at all, man. So anyhow, Fatima's like, look, I went and got my clothes out of the stores. I'm a little fly tonight. And Angela's like, so what are we getting ready to get into? She was like, I'm about to do me. You see what I'm saying? I'm about to get back to what I love to do. It's all about me. So she about to have her hot girl summer. And you know that hot girl summer can get real hot. If you understand what I'm saying. And everybody is not meant to have a hot girl summer. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to leave that right here on this platform. Anyhow, going on from that, Zac and Fatima's father. So her stepfather comes over to see Zac. Now, Zac is coming out of his duplex or whatnot. I'm not sure why. Maybe he's getting ready to go out with the fellas at the same time. So Zac is like, hey, you don't even have to come over here. She ain't here. Her stepfather's like, I think his name is Mr. Henry. Mr. Henry's like, no, I know she's not here. I'm here to actually talk to you. He was like, well, can we head on in the inside? Zac is, initially like, no, we good. Like, we can talk right here. Like, you don't even have to come inside my crib or whatnot. So anyhow, while they're in the midst of conversating, fine ass Deja. Damn. Listen. Oh my gosh. Deja is so daggone fine to me. I don't know what it is. It's the hood. Oh my goodness, man. Let me get back on track. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, man. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. When she came up out on that balcony, man, I was like, I'll be John Brown, man. Anyhow, getting back to the story, man. So Deja comes out, and she comes out to speak to Zac. Like, how you doing, Zac? What's good, Zac? Just know your girl is about to be served. So she forewarns him that Fatima is about to be served for what went down previously, all right? So anyhow, she goes on to talk to Mr. Henry. She was like, well, how you doing, Mr. Old Dude? Like, okay, what's good with you? And she was like, well, is that your car? He was like, yeah, that actually is. So then we find out what he did for a profession. So he conveys to Deja that he's actually a retired judge and lawyer. So of course, initially, Deja ain't trying to pay him no mind. She was like, I don't do old dudes or whatnot. But then once she finds out what he did and how he got that guap, her whole perspective changed about Mr. Henry. She was like, oh, okay. All right, can you... That's how it be. I'm just trying to tell you. So anyhow, he ain't come over there for that. And Zac is like, look, bro, let's just go on in the crib. Because obviously he was like, ain't nothing gonna be done in this conversation with Deja standing on top of us and you looking up there, and Mr. Henry's like, hey, do you mind if we just stay out here? Mr. Henry is looking at what I'm looking at, and he's enjoying life right now. I'm just saying. So anyhow, so when Mr. Henry and Zac get into the crib, we find out that these have more in common than we thought. Because when Mr. Henry comes in, he was like, hey, initially, he was like, hey, what's good? You know, whoop, whoop, whoop. They just shooting the bobo a little bit. But Mr. Henry's like, look, you need to man up. My daughter is a good catch, bro. You throwing this thing away. So Mr. Henry's like, you need to man up and work this out. You see what I'm saying? And Mr. Henry, I can appreciate that. See, this is something that Zac never had in his life. He didn't have a father who could assist him and guide him in the direction that he needed to go. I liked how Tyler put all of this together, because as young men, we need, not taking anything away from the great single mothers and stuff out there, but every young boy needs a man to guide him into manhood, to show him the ropes, to show him how to take care of his family, to show him what he needs to do to be a man. If he wants to be a father, he needs to learn how to be a father from a man who knows how to take care of his kids, how to man up, how to deal with shit in life, how to deal with things that come your way. Yes, your mom can show you all of these things, a woman can show you all of these things, but it's nothing like a real man to sit down and guide you through life. And right here, you can see Zac respecting the hell out of Mr. Henry right now. And that's not his father. But that's real talk coming from an OG who's been there before. He's been down this line. He's shedding light as well on the stuff that he's done in his past, that Fatima's mama, where she's had to deal with shit with him. So right here, you see he and Zac are the same people, just on different spectrums. I was like, damn. Zac is like, oh, but you know she lied to me about the therapist. Her dad is like, so? Then he started using some expletives, and Zac was like, hold on, wait a minute. Like, you ain't supposed to be talking like that. Like, you're a retired judge and shit. And he was like, look, I'm still that same from south side of Chicago. I was like, here we go. That's what I'm talking about. He kept it 100 with Zac, and that's what Zac needed to hear. And then Mr. Henry forewarns him. He said, don't take too long. And Zac is like, what are you talking about? He was like, no, don't take too long, because something can go crazy with this. And he was like, what you mean? He was like, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about her. People make rash decisions. Like what she's doing right now, she's not thinking with a clear mind. And he was like, look, don't take too long. And he said, also, this conversation never happened. And then, by the way, he wanted to get contact information on Deja fine ass. I was like, I hear you here. Call me up with the info, bro. I'm just messing with y'all. But anyhow, while we're talking about bad decisions, we see Paul and Fatima, and they having this conversation, and Fatima tells Paul about she and Zac being over. So that's all Paul wanted to hear. But he should have asked that shit initially when he was on the phone with her, not when he was out at the club with her. See, that's two different things. So anyhow, she told him about them being over. He's like, well, I'm sorry to hear that. She was like, no, you're not. He was like, well, I'm just trying to be cool with it. Like, he jumping for joy inside, because that's another fine one as well. Like, all these sisters fine on these shows. Dark skin, light skin, in between, man. I'm just, like chocolate is chocolate. Oh my goodness, man. Anyhow, next we see Belinda. Now, Belinda is at the club. Now, we know the relationship between Belinda and Fatima. All right? So, Belinda is getting ready to announce or introduce the next performer when she sees Fatima and Angela trying to leave, trying to jettison her. All right? And so, like, hold on, wait a minute. Who is that out there? And she sees them, and she was like, oh, we got some good. We got You wasn't getting up out of here that quickly, Fatima. So anyhow, she introduces Fatima as the singer for the club that night. And Fatima gets up there to sing, what's that girl's song? Alicia Keys, I Keep On Falling, in and out of love with you. I ain't never loved no one the way that I loved you. And she was looking directly at Zac, who just so happened to be in the club at the same damn time with his friends in the background holding him down. And unfortunately, she was singing it to him, but she meant every word. But she was also looking at Paul, because Paul was in the midst of all of it. Damn, Zac. I don't even know what to say, bro. And that's pretty much it on this episode, I believe, that I can talk about. Like I said, this episode was pretty decent, man. I'm going to go ahead and give it about a 9, a 9.25. Like I said, overall, man, it was pretty decent. So I'm looking forward. If they're going to kick it off like this, I am definitely looking forward to the rest of this season. Also, on that note, I just want to go ahead and thank y'all for checking out my video as well. It's been a while, a few days here that I haven't dropped a damn thing, but my channel has still been growing. So I appreciate you all for checking out my material. Also, with that being said, just while I got you right here, I got your ear right here. Instead of Wednesday nights, I'm going to start doing my weekly chats on Fridays, all right? Because I was seeing the news would come out every so often throughout the week, and I was like, damn, like, I could have talked about this on the show. So instead of me doing it on Wednesdays, dropping it on Wednesdays, I will actually have that on Fridays. And then I actually got something coming up on Saturday that I will start this week as well. So I'm trying to get my voice back together. If y'all got some remedies out there that I can, assist myself with these damn allergies and stuff like that, some natural stuff, then let me know in the chat down below. But as always, thank you all, and please like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss shit and if this going down, all right? Talk to y'all soon. Peace.